This is a breaking news alert. It is with deep regret that we must report U.S. service member fatalities in the Middle East as a result of Donald Trump's catastrophic war. U.S. Central Command says that 2 U.S. service members were killed in action in Jordan on July 17th when defending against Iranian ballistic missile and drone attacks following Donald Trump's escalation of this catastrophic war. CENTCOM also says that 1 service member is currently missing in action. 4 additional American service members were medically evacuated to a Jordanian hospital and have since been discharged, according to CENTCOM, although we do know that CENTCOM lies about everything and that they have been covering this up. For many days now, I've been talking about other strikes by Iran in Jordan and in the region where I saw med-evac airplanes and other med-evac indications showing that I believe there are other casualties that CENTCOM is still covering up, but they have now admitted at least 2 service members were killed. They claim that the other service members are being treated for minor injuries and have returned to duty, although we know that CENTCOM has lied about making claims like this before when people have traumatic brain injury and when people have been severely injured, as what also occurred at the start of this war. Now, about 5 months ago, CENTCOM would say the same thing, and we now know definitively that that was a lie. It is really sickening and disturbing that this is what CENTCOM has become, but this is the Trump regime. Let me repeat, 2 U.S. service members confirmed killed in action in Jordan, and an additional service member is missing. And we also believe that the casualty count will increase significantly. I believe that there are far more serious injuries than are being reported, and there may also be some additional fatalities that are not being reported. These are the casualties confirmed by CENTCOM as of now, but we know that CENTCOM lies about everything. We have the footage over here showing Iran's direct missile hit on the Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan, where this took place. First, let me just share with you the B-roll that I was playing yesterday, that I was playing earlier today as well, and I was saying I believe there are casualties. Recall, I was saying this is where the barracks are. There were troops at that base. And it should also be noted that the Patriot interceptors, those PAC-3s and those THAADs, are either not there in Jordan and not there in a lot of these locations in the Middle East, or because the munitions have been so depleted, or they're just ineffective because Iran is sending, anywhere from, 8 to 12 ballistic missiles at a time in each salvo. That's it. And the U.S. interceptors are not able to strike it down. Let me show you the video right here capturing the moment that several of these Iranian medium to intermediate range ballistic missiles struck the Muwafaq Salti Air Base, killing at least 2 and injuring several other American service members. Here's this. I showed the other B-roll. Let me show you this video, though. Let's play it. Here's a map of some of the other Iranian strikes of U.S. air bases, and Iran is striking hard, not only in the Muwafaq Salti base in Jordan, but we also saw other bases in Jordan being hit very hard. You'll recall earlier this week, the King Faisal Air Base was being hit hard in Jordan. I'll show you the B-roll right here, the before and after. I believe there was casualties there that are still being covered up. That was earlier in the week, but there are also U.S. bases in Saudi Arabia being hit, Bahrain, in Kuwait, oil tankers that are trying to get out of the Strait of Hormuz through the U.S. route are being targeted. Erbil in Iraq being hit hard by Iran. And this is after the United States has escalated, of course, hitting civilian infrastructure in Iran, taking out dozens of bridges in Iran and tunnels in Iran. Also, the U.S. struck multiple desalinization facilities in Iran, which then led Iran to respond by hitting 2 desalinization facilities in Kuwait. And that's how Kuwait gets its water, from the desalinization facilities. And so they're now both in Iran and Kuwait. And Iran says it will be expanding, this as well. The inability to get drinking water. And this began because the U.S. started striking the desalinization facilities of Iran. So Iran said, all right, we'll hit them in Kuwait. And the U.S. interceptors not working, not there, or both. I'll show you just to remind you earlier in the week as well. Here's a Iranian Revolutionary Guard Shahid striking a U.S. military logistical facility in Kuwait City. You can see this for yourself. Let's play it. And the escalation ladder continues. The U.S. sending lots of Strato tankers, lots of F-16s. They're landing more in Jordan, in Israel right now. And there's just all out war taking place right now. This will continue to add. This is exactly the escalatory trap that we've been warning about. Iran also struck the Kuwait National Petroleum Company North Pier crude oil export facility at the Mina Al Hamadi hub in Kuwait. Kuwait relies on this hub for 90% essentially of its economy. Now, we're hearing from Iran's Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khomeini. He said the MOU is not worth the paper it was written on. He also says the great Satan's repeated violations of the Memorandum of Understanding signed between the presidents of Iran and the U.S. once again proved to everyone how worthless and unreliable the signature of the U.S. president is, and the bullying hegemonic ambitions and savagery are inseparable elements of the American way and doctrine. The great Satan has once again revealed its true face without a mask, so that this dark experience of crime and bad faith will stand as yet another powerful testament to America's deceitfulness, irrationality, untrustworthiness, and wickedness. Now that the American enemy is seeking to ignite war and incur even heavier costs and greater disgrace, it should know that the beloved Iranian nation and the axis of resistance have unforgettable lessons in store for it. The bravery of the fighters of Islam and the courage of the people of Iran's southern region in recent days have already demonstrated examples of those lessons. More photos of the U.S. striking bridges. The Jask desalinization plant is where the U.S. struck, cutting off drinking water to 20 villages in Iran. That's why Iran responded by hitting the desalinization facilities in Kuwait. Iran is also warning that further strikes against Iranian infrastructure will result in Iran targeting Abu Dhabi and Dubai airports in the UAE. The ports of Fujairah and Jebel Ali in the UAE will also be targeted, and Iran threatening that it will shut down the Bab el-Mandab Strait through the Houthis in Yemen. We saw at the end of last week, the Houthis in Yemen showing up by the hundreds of thousands to show support for their leader, Abdul Malik al-Houthi. You saw the massive crowds there, and they are ready to go, ready to fight. They're also working with the Somalis, allied resistance groups there to shut down the Bab el-Mandab Strait from both sides. It seems obvious that Donald Trump will continue to escalate after these 2 U.S. service members were killed. And Trump will now, I'm sure, start, as Trump will, striking power plants even more, striking more infrastructure, which is going to lead to the catastrophic ending and outcome that, again, we've been warning about every single day here. Just to remind you, when the week ended, Donald Trump was saying Iran wanted to settle really badly. Remember this? Play this clip.
They want to settle so badly. They don't like what we're doing. And they do want to settle. We'll find out whether or not we settle with them or we just finish it off.
And Trump said, we'll defeat them very soon. The same thing he's been saying now for 5 months. Remember when he said this would go away in a few days? Play this clip.
Booming, and we'll have Iran defeated soon. They'll be defeated very soon. And then I guess it'll be even better. But, you know, even during this, it's been amazing. I mean,
then you had the U.S. media asking Caroline Leavitt just really poorly worded questions, which is, why do you think there can be a deal if Iran previously breached the MOU? I mean, it was Trump, the moment he held up the MOU in Versailles, started, breaching it right away and engaging in bad faith and was never serious about the deal to begin with. And here's what Caroline Leavitt had to say. They want to do a deal. You could tell they really want to do a deal. Play this clip.
He essentially seemed fed up with these negotiations. And can you explain why the American people should think that a deal with Iran would even be worthwhile at this point, given the fact that they broke it already?
Well, look at how bad they are behaving. It just proves the president's initial point for launching Operation Epic Fury in the first place. Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon. That's why he launched Operation Epic Fury. They have suffered devastating blows to their military and their economy as a result. The president is always open and willing to diplomacy. He is the peace through strength president after all. After Operation Epic Fury, the conclusion of it, we did move forward into a diplomatic phase, if you will. But unfortunately, Iran has since violated that. They have expressed they still want to make a deal to the president. We're talking to them. But again, the president is not going to allow them to fire on ships in the Strait without paying a consequence for that. And I think just one more point, I think throughout this entire endeavor, the president has proved not just to Iran, but to the entire world that we can hit Iran anytime, anywhere, any place. And their ability to defend themselves has been essentially wiped out because of this president and Operation Epic Fury in the first place. Sure. Lena, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Welcome back.
Thank you.
2 questions.
And then in Donald Trump's national address, he said, "We are winning big in Iran. You will see the fruits of our labor shortly." This is what the genocidal war criminal who has destroyed the United States has had to say. Here, play this clip.
we won in Venezuela, which is now working with us to produce millions and millions of barrels of oil. We are likewise winning big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly.
Well, there you have it, folks. My heart goes out to, of course, the families of the service members who have died as a result of Donald Trump's catastrophic behavior. I'm absolutely furious. I'm furious at anybody who voted for this sicko, for this warmonger, genocidal maniac in the Oval Office or in Bedminster right now on the golf course. That's where he actually is right now, on his freaking golf course. So shame on you, and saying that doesn't even do it justice. You've destroyed the United States' reputation and standing. You've created a catastrophic war that was so obvious this would be the outcome. And now the escalation ladder continues, and it just seems that more and more American service members are going to get killed, that more people in the Middle East are going to die needlessly as a result of Donald Trump's catastrophic and disgusting and just despicable all around existence. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Breaking news right now. My brothers and I wrote a book. It's called WTF America. And well, doesn't that just say it all? It comes out officially this October, but you can pre-order your copy today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description below.